Hi guys, how's it going? I'm Lorraine and welcome to my channel. Now just before I dive in there and pull your cards for today, I'd just like to say I am an experienced and professional, holistic and spiritual counsellor and mentor, and I offer 100% money back guarantee for image readings, tarot readings, also the programs, as well as spiritual and holistic counselling, mentorship, plus advice to help you with union with self and union with your person. And I also offer astrology birth charts. Just check out the details in the description box below this video for more information. So let's dive deep, guys, and let's see what messages the cards have for you about both you and your person's love journey thus far. And let's see what messages the cards have for you about your person. Of course. So let's dive in there. All right, guys. So this is what's going on now for both you and your person. This is coming in as how you feel about each other. Now, it also talks about what you both want to, what action you both want to take when it comes to each other here, guys. And most definitely how you see each other. Okay, that's what I'm picking up with these two cards coming out in terms of the now here, guys. Pretty exciting. So let's get into it. So you're coming in with the Sun card. This is Leo. All right. Leo is ruled by the Sun, and the Sun rules your 5th house here, guys. Yeah, of pleasure, creativity, inner happiness here. Things that make you happy or that bring joy and happiness into your life here. It can also talk about what motivates and inspires you here, and see that motivation and that inspiring here happiness here is an inner happiness here. You're coming in with creativity, but the creativity here in your reading is what your emotions create inside of you, what your feelings create inside of you here, what it, I want to say, propels here, guys, in terms of motivation, what that happiness, you know, motivates inside of you to create here, because happiness can create, all right, guys, and it can create passion, it can create desire, it can create want here, and it can also come in as a passion project. What are you passionate about here? What do you love to do? What inspires you here to take a certain action? And that action could be create here, guys, creative here. It does talk about relationships when you're coming in with the Sun card here. Friends here, guys. Humour is what it's, something else I want to talk about here. Laughter here. See, that's joy when you're able to laugh here, guys. Okay, let me keep going with, because it is about self here when you do come in with the Sun card. I'm not too sure if it's selfless here. Yeah. See, this is actually coming in as, so what do I do about it? What do I do about the feelings that I have here? Because this is like prompting both you and your person to take some kind of action. But is it effective? Is it going to do what, am I going to get the desired results? And how can I be sure here that it is going to be the desired result here, or I am going to get this outcome? Because with the Sun card, it's what it can talk about there in your reading is that it's building, it's growing, your feelings here, your emotions. It can also come in as your thoughts as well here, guys. Yeah. See, what it also talks about there in, in your reading with the Sun card, it also talks about what brought about this happiness, this inner happiness here. Because with the Sun card, it can actually come in as I've pinpointed it. I know what it is. In terms of the truth, in terms of what's being illuminated here. Oh, I know what it is. I know who it is here. But how do I make it real in a sense here? Yeah. It may have taken time here, guys, to figure out your emotions. And it does. It does. All right, guys? Yeah. Especially if you've ignored and avoided certain intense and deep emotions that you have for your person. This is both you and your person, all right, guys? And even when it comes to building some kind of passion project here. See, that's saying it's possible here. But it's almost what I need to mention here, guys, is the lead up, is what happened before in order to get to this point here. So that you understand, so that both you understand where your person is coming from. Here, is that the right way to say it? And even yourself here. Okay, guys. Now you're coming in with the Chariot. The Chariot is Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon here. And the moon is in Libra, is moving or transiting into Libra, out of Virgo. All right. Really depends on where you are in the world here, guys. And Libra rules your 7th house of building partnerships here, guys. Yeah. Now, Cancer is your 4th house. It's your private life here when you're coming in with the moon. All right, guys? Because the moon rules your 4th house here. And at this point in time, you have Jupiter in Cancer. Okay? It's, what I'm getting here for both you and your person, it's about revisiting past relationships here. There's lessons here. There's also, well, I am picking up finality, that finality of things, the completion here of, I want to say relationships, but it also comes in as, like I said, being able to pinpoint, being sure, being definite here that this is the person that you were wanting. This is both you and your person. You were coming in with the sun and the moon here. And the sun is actually in Leo. All right. But Mercury is also in Leo, and Mercury is retrograding at this time. I think we've got another week. And so here it is. It's revisiting. It's looking back here. It can be seen as reflection All right, guys, looking at what works, what doesn't work, but I actually get here also, it comes in as, like I said, being able to pinpoint what your emotions, what your feelings have been telling you for a very long time here. And that could very well be love here, guys. Yeah. Yeah, of course, there may have been confusion here, guys, when it came to love, because we've got to talk about the lead up to why you and your person are here at this point in time, is what it's also talking about here. See, there's a want to build relationships. There's a want to build a relationship here. When you were coming in with the Chariot, okay, when you're coming in with the Moon here. But there's also a reflection, revisiting here, past relationships as well, in order to come in with this precision. I think that's the right word. Yeah, guys. Yeah, that this is the choice, in order to, because the choice has already been made here, guys, and why they've made that choice, this is both you and your person, is because you've looked at past relationships here. Of course, this is friends, family here, guys, social cliques, social norms here. All right, that's what I'm also picking up here, because the Chariot card is really about what motivates and inspires you here. So it comes in as, why did you build relationships in the past? What was it that you were looking for here? Did you find it? Did you make that? Did you make it happen? Was it a good relationship? Was this good choices here? What about it wasn't a good choice? See, that's all coming in with Mercury retrograde. I do see it as the mind here, guys, Mercury. And so, and I spoke about thinking when I came in with the Sun card here in your reading. Yeah. Yes. See, with the Sun card, it can also come in as what's been illuminated here. So you're coming in with a plan here, guys. Yeah. And like I said, it's the action. So how do I take this action? Like, I get here your person wanting to take action towards you, all right, but not wanting to take the same approach in which they took in the past, because it wasn't as effective, it didn't work. Hence why you're coming in with Mercury retrograde here. There is a want from your person to reach out, to talk to you, to reconnect in a sense here. But there's also a fear here. And the fear here can be, how are you going to see it? How are you going to perceive your person if they did reach out? Has your opinion of them changed? Mercury retrograde, has your opinion of them changed here? And what it can also talk about here in your reading, but how do I change that opinion that you once had of me in the past here? See, it comes in as your person wants to reach out, wants to communicate, but they pull back here. All right, let me keep going here, eh? See, with the Moon card coming in in Libra in the 7th house, all right, which is ruled by Venus. Okay, guys, justice here. I just want to touch on the moon card. It talks about, like I said before, it talks about why you built certain relationships here. What was the intention here? What did you hold back? Even though you may have built relationships in the past here, what were you able to be open and honest when you're coming in with the moon card? Or did you put up a kind of persona when it came to others here? Were you able to be truthful and honest? I just want to make sure I touch on that here, because being in your 7th house here, building relationships, it comes in as, so what? What was your persona? How did you come across? And is that what you really, is that who you really were on the inside? Was that the truth? Was that the true you here? Or did you make out that everything was okay when in actual fact you really didn't want to be there? I'm also picking that up as well here, guys. All right, so that was the now. A lot going on for both you and your person. Here there's a lot to kind of consider, reconsider here. There is a reconnect here, guys. Yeah. But the action hasn't happened yet. There's a fear to take action here in your reading. Right, so let's come in with obstacles and challenges. All right, thank you. All right. Okay, so you are coming in with the Page of Pentacles. You are coming in with the Queen of Swords. And you were also coming in with the Hierophant here. The Hierophant is Taurus. All right, guys. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus rules your 2nd house and your 7th house here, Libra. Okay, guys. And Venus is actually in Gemini. And Gemini rules your 3rd house, Mercury. And Mercury is in retrograde at this time. Okay, I've already spoken about that here in your reading. So you're coming in with the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords is kind of coming in as the same person here. And obstacle and challenge here is friendship. See, when I spoke about the Chariot card here, and the Sun card, and I spoke about the intentions here when it came to building relationships here in your reading, and that reflection here as to why you built relationships. What were you wanting out of the relationship here? Was it what you were wanting? Were you able to speak your truth here, where you didn't put up some kind of persona here in your reading? See, that's all coming in as these whole 3 cards, to be quite honest here. see, with the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, what it talks about there in your reading, it does talk about showing up, all right? The Page of Pentacles here. And with the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, excuse me, the Queen of Swords coming in here, I did talk about Libra here in your reading. Now, what it can talk about there in your reading, it comes in as you're most definitely wanting to speak the truth here, but the obstacle and the challenge is actually the Hierophant. This person here, your person, this person is the obstacle and challenge here. Because it really comes down to what are you going to say. When you come in with the Queen of Swords, they can be seen as quite reptilian here. You know, and you do have Mercury in your reading, you do have Gemini. All right, guys? Because Venus is in Gemini. You're talking about your third house here in your reading. And it does talk about here. See, there's a want to go back and rehash some kind of conversation, some kind of discussion that you may have had with your person. That's what I'm getting. But in order to do this, it's coming in as there needs to be a restart here with the Page of Pentacles. There, with the Page of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, what it can talk about there in your reading is trust needs to be rebuilt here between you and your person. Let me keep going here, guys, and let's pull the potential outcome. Oh my gosh. All right. Okay, so you are coming in with the Nine of Swords. You have the Seven of Swords. And you are coming in with the Hermit. The Hermit is Virgo. Alright, guys. Once again, your Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury also rules your sixth house. Sixth house of health, well-being and work here. Physical, your physicality, your physical well-being here. Your mental health here. Okay. And once again, you're coming back to the Sun card, Mercury retrograde. You also have Mars in Virgo and the South Node. There's changes happening here, guys, and I was going to talk about that here in your reading. However, there's a want to control here. There's a want to control a situation here in your reading. See, what the Hermit card can talk about here in your reading is everything that I said about the Sun card here in the beginning. There's regret here. See, you're coming in with the Nine of Swords and the Seven of Swords here, guys. You know, I spoke about that action, wanting to take a certain action. All right, guys, but what it's talking about here in your reading is we're actually talking about what happened in the past here. Remember when I spoke about, so what led up to the Sun card? How did you realize it was your happiness here? How did you come to that conclusion? How were you able to pinpoint what that emotion was all about? And in order to pinpoint that emotion, you're coming in with the Nine of Swords and the Seven of Swords here. How were you able to know that this was it? This was the person you wanted to be with here? Because you're coming in with, here in your reading, I didn't know it, I didn't see it. I actually feared love. This is what it's also talking about here, happiness, joy. Because you're coming in with the persona here. You remember when I said it's you may have put up this persona here where you acted like everything was okay when it really wasn't here. So you weren't being your true self or what you truly wanted to say here. Only because no one listened to you, coming in with the Nine of Swords. And so it was easier here to make out that everything was fine and it was normal here in your reading. But it's the Hermit card here, Virgo. All right, let's have a look, okay? Let's see. Let's see what the advice card is. You've got Judgment. And you know, I was talking about Judgment when I spoke about the Sun card. So Judgment, once again, is Virgo, you guys. Yep. See, when you're coming in with Judgment, you're coming in with, here in your reading, what you've created here, to be quite honest, what you've created in terms of this passion, this desire, here hasn't made a difference. It hasn't made a difference. When you're coming in with Judgment, you're coming in with following an outdated belief system, an outdated program here, all right? You've already followed it. And when the trumpet blows, here in your reading, when you're coming in with this card, okay, this particular angel has a trumpet. And when that trumpet blows and you're well aware of what you have created, that trumpet, I would see it as an intuitive nudge. Here, guys, you're well aware that things haven't changed. And how that comes in for you is by way of your feelings, your emotions, and your thoughts here. It's when you look back and you think to yourself, that's where I was a year ago, and I'm still at the same spot. Things haven't changed. Why haven't things changed for me here? Because I want things to change. I'm not saying that for you and your person you haven't taken certain action to create these changes in your life here. But what it can talk about there in your reading is that there was more to do. There is more to do. You need to go deeper here. You need to go deeper. And when you come in with the Judgment card, you don't want to do any more work. You want it now, and you want it to happen here. Is what I'm picking up here, guys. Serious card is the Judgment card here, guys. Because what it talks about there in your reading is that the cycle hasn't ended. It's still the same cycle. But there's a want to end the cycle. There's a want for something new to happen here. And see, what it can talk about here in your reading is giving something another go. And you do here. All right? You may say to yourself, okay, I'm going to give it one more year. And I'm going to give it my all, 110% here. And the year is up. And it's then that you realize, oh man, it hasn't changed. No matter what I do, things haven't changed. It's still the same. I'm still giving 100%. There is no reciprocity. I'm still being treated the same. I'm still arguing here. I'm still in conflict with others. And it starts to affect everything that I do. Coming in with the self-note, here, there's something needs to end. That's what it's talking about here in your reading. It comes in as you can't keep rehashing it. You can't keep rebuilding it, restarting it here. That's what I'm picking up. You can't just keep going over the same thing over and over again. Here in your reading, what it talks about there is that you've got to take a completely, totally different approach here, guys. So reach out, book an image reading with me. If you want to know the difference between the two, image reading, tarot reading, just check out the details in the description box below this video for more information. Alright guys, as I'm not just a tarot reader, here, there's a fear to say something. There's a fear to change here, guys. Change the way in which you communicate now. Being honest now on how you truly feel. As opposed to putting on this persona and just being happy here to please other people. To make other people happy. That's how it's coming in here in your reading. And see what it talks about, the Sun card and the Chariot card. What it's telling me there in your reading is this is how it could very well go. For both you and your person here. Alright guys, remember this is the potential outcome. So reach out. Now if you want to book counselling with me, I have no more spaces available at this point in time, guys. However, I can refer you to my team. All right, New Earth community, like-minded individuals, and we all follow the same framework. Okay, I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.